Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. Sogno interrotto, interrupted dream. This is how Tuttosport is opening their front page the day after the loss of Inter in Champions League final against Manchester City. I have to tell you immediately how I am feeling about that final of Champions League. And how will I tell you? Answering three questions. The first one is, am I happy that Manchester City won? Absolutely not. I don't care about Manchester City. Am I happy that Inter lost? Telling you the truth, no. For a simple reason. It's not because Inter lost that I'm more satisfied about the season 22-23 of the Bianconeri, of Juventus. It's not because Inter lost yesterday that the season of Juventus become a bit better. Absolutely not. The results were there. Horrendous season. We finished third on the field, or even behind Lazio. We are not in Champions League because of the off-the-field topics and so on and so on. The loss of Inter yesterday will not help in any way the situation of Juventus. But I still have another question to answer. Am I happy that Inter didn't win? Absolutely yes. And this is why I celebrated yesterday the goal of Manchester City. That I was happy that it was not Inter lifting that trophy in the air. For a simple reason. Because I consider myself a Juventino that loves to banter, to joke, to make jokes, but always with some of respect. Yesterday, after the win of Inter, I didn't go in any single Inter account on Twitter, social media or whatever, or even on WhatsApp, because I have a lot of Inter friends, to mock them. I know what it is to lose a final. It is already painful. It is already something that it's difficult to digest. I didn't feel myself to go and to mock them. And I'm really proud about that. Of course, I was happy with Juventini in the Telegram group about Inter not winning it for a simple reason. Because in the other scenario, if Inter would have won yesterday, I am sure that I would have had in my mentions a lot of Inter fans coming and mocking me. For what reason, I have no idea, but they would have done it like Napoli fans did it right after, but I promise you 26 minutes after winning their Scudetto, they were there in my mentions mocking me. For what reason? Again, I can't explain myself, maybe obsession of Juve, but that's really strange. So I'm happy that for the next coming years, for the next coming 10 years, you will not have to endure Interisti mocking you, Juventini, because they win in Europe. Fino al confine is something only for Juventus. So for that reason, I'm happy. Then, of course, we will speak about Fagioli in that video, that for the first time this season will not have to go in training camp in the summer, proving that he deserves Juve. I'm really happy to speak about Fagioli. We'll speak about Max d'Arabia, Massimiliano Allegri of Arabia, a bit like Lawrence of Arabia. You know about that. Or at least the bit older ones that know a bit about cinema. We'll speak about that towards the end of the video, but let me first come back on some questions I have, because everything is a bit in the narrative. If Serie A accounts were super happy about having 5 Italian teams in semi-final, including Juve, and then super happy with the quote, Calcio is back, after seeing 3 Italian teams in the final, I believe that you always have to pay attention what you are saying, what you are celebrating, which quotes that you are saying, especially if you are a big account like Serie A. It's not GJustjuve that is supporting only one team, and if I am mocked or not, who cares? It's Serie A. Serie A that is launching a message towards the world saying, we are back. We are back, and then you see that who is celebrating? Well, Sevilla against Roma, West Ham against Fiorentina, Manchester City against Inter yesterday. Is Calcio really back? Back. Even if one of the team, 2 of the team, or even 3 of the team would have won these finals, ragazzi, you know what I think about it. I think that Calcio will be back potentially one day when we will have investment in youth, when we will have the promotion of women on the front pages, when we will have new stadiums in Italy, when we will stop chasing who is doing actually quite well, and stopping to do autogols with Federazione Italiana Gioco Calcio, when we will speak really English as the main language to export our brand instead of just changing the name from Serie A to Serie A made in Italy. Will it change something? Absolutely not. Anyway, yesterday we saw it. I told you, Fiorentina lost, Inter lost, Paulo Dybala with Roma lost, the 3 Italian ones. Calcio is back. I'm asking myself how it is possible that they were using a slogan like that, and I believe I'm not the only one. Look at Pep Guardiola that is also looking for Calcio, because he said Calcio is back. Where is Calcio? Looking for it yesterday in the middle of the game. Anyway, It's again about narrative and how they are explaining things. Not only Calcio is back, but also 2 days ago on the 8th of June, there is New York Times that goes with a big, huge, dangerous articles revealing the problems of Inter. With a big title, Inter Milan facing painful reckoning, tries to live in the now. And then they go with a subtitle, Inter Milan made the Champions League final with Italy's oldest squad and its highest debt. Whatever will happen in Istanbul, they cannot stop the financial squeeze to come. Then you go inside, what are they speaking about? Well, that they have huge problems of debts. Inter is the most indebted club in Italy. According to its most recently published accounts, its total liabilities run at around 931 million. In the last 2 years, which information is available, it recorded losses of almost 430 million. Calcio is back, they said, with Inter winning the Champions League final. But here you see a serious article of New York Times exposing Inter, that is saying the assets of Inter are a lot of old players. Aging team, the oldest one that is able to arrive to the Champions League final. They have so many debts, they have problems, and even winning it, well, it will not stop the bleeding. Inter is in big problems. Of course, the tifosi of Inter, they will not tell you that because they will not read the New York Times. They will read Gazzetta dello Sport, that on page 21, 2 days after the article of New York Times, because they never mentioned it yesterday, they never spoke about it, well, they are telling you ricavi al top. Top revenue for Inter thanks and despite the loss of yesterday in Champions League final. Zhang is happy because he sees that his asset is growing. A beautiful narrative to tell that Inter is great, that Inter is back, that the final that they play was a beautiful surprise in making actually Inter really big and having a big international appeal. Then in between that article, between one positive and the last positive news, they go with, but indeed Inter has an old team. Inter needs to take bold decision now. Inter has some debts that every year is growing, but that's really written in small. Again, ragazzi, before Calcio is back, we have a really big work to do in terms of financial situation, like Juventus is now, but all the other teams in Italy, we have a lot of work to do before really speaking about Calcio is back. And I wish that we stop with making people dream about Calcio is back instead of telling the truth, instead of saying how it is. Difficult situation for Calcio, and whatever would have happened yesterday would not have saved Calcio, and that's why I didn't support Inter. You know it, I'm not changing my narrative, and Inter winning yesterday would not have saved Calcio, absolutely not. Ragazzi, what is saving Inter? Well, probably the president of FIFA, that is sad, really sad, as a tifoso of Inter yesterday on Instagram with a post, look up Inter and be proud. He written Amala with the 2 hearts, the Nerazzurro hearts. But not only that, not only with the Instagram story, also with a post with Amala. It was really sad, shaking the hand of Simone Inzaghi. Well, look, guys, maybe that's one of the mistakes of Juve, not having big managers or influential Juve names on top of FIFA, on top of UEFA, that is causing us a lot of problems. Now, attenzione, we are speaking about Inter. City is not better, and that's why I told you I don't care about City winning. I'm not happy about City winning. We have Inter on one side, the most aging and the most, especially, highest depth team in Italy that is playing a final of Champions League. On the other side, you have Pep Guardiola with Manchester City with 115 charges. Champions face relegation if FFP breaches are proved. Rivals want decision before the end of the season. Big problems also for City. Again, will they be safe like they were a few years ago? We will discover it. I'm just thinking, if Juve was in that situation, how much Gazzetta dello Sport would speak about Juventus, how much articles would have been written about Juve, how much they would have paid a graphic designer to break the logo of Juve again. Again, really strange. Then, Corriere dello Sport, così no, not like that, and Gazzetta dello Sport with Tears of Champions. They were pissed off because they said, and that's really strange, I heard in the past about they deserve to win. This time I heard a lot of narratives saying they deserve to go to the extra time. What does that mean? They deserve to go in the extra time. Did Inter play well? Absolutely yes. And I told you, and I really believed in what I was telling you. It was not a jinx. I told you, Inter, they will not lose 4-0 or 5-0 like Christian Bale was saying. I'm actually asking myself, how is it possible that a player with such an experience at international level is not even understanding football? A lot of people were telling that Manchester City would have trashed Inter. I warned you, pay attention. One game, a knockout game, 90 minutes on the field, everything can happen. And pay attention, because Inter would have been a really tough team for Manchester City. I was really believing that Inter had chances to win the Champions League yesterday. Did they play well? Absolutely yes. Then, did they deserve to go to the extra time? What does that mean? What does that mean? Anyway, of course, it would have been a bit easier if Lukaku was not entering at a certain moment, because he did it again. But that's the story of Lukaku. Karma, karma, karma. And now we go to the Juve side, because yesterday we finished with an image of Cambiasso from Inter that was really sad and really serious, while Alessandro Del Piero was smiling. So I'm sure that a lot of Juventini will smile this morning. What about Max d'Arabia? Yesterday we made a full video about it. Go back and watch it. But Massimiliano D'Allegri, the offer is real. Apparently, according to some rumors, it's not the first offer that he's receiving from that mysterious club, apparently Al-Hilal from Arabia. It's already the second one. The first one he received it, and now it increased until 60 million euro net in his pockets for 3 years. That means 20 years, 20 million a year. At the moment, he's saying no. It could be that that offer will be again increased. Let's see if he will accept it or not. At the moment, the rumors are saying that he doesn't want to leave Italy. What I was telling you yesterday, family reason, the country reason, is someone that doesn't like to take all these big, strange decisions of changing not only country, but also changing continent, way of living. So, but the offer is really real. Really real. Will they be able to convince him? Let's see. We know that at the moment there is an offer for Adrien Rabiot. Agent and the player will decide in a few days. What we know at the moment is that Adrien Rabiot didn't say officially goodbye to Juve. So for the people that really love Adrien Rabiot and want him to continue with Juve, pay attention, because everything can happen. I told you about Nicolo Fagioli. I'm happy. At the moment he has that problem at the shoulder. It's going better. Of course, he should be ready for July when we start again the training camp. Well, for the very first time, Nicolo Fagioli will go to the training camp without the obligation to show that he deserves to stay at Juve. He will have to show that he deserves to be a Juve player, because every single day, every single season, you have to deserve Juve. You have to show that you deserve Juve. Nothing is granted, otherwise it's over. He's only 22, sorry. So he had a lot of things to prove, but not anymore that he deserves to stay at Juve. Nicolo Fagioli will be a key player for the future of Juve. Will be a player loved by the fans. Will be more and more a player at the center of the project. Sorry. And I finish with a few news. The one of Federico Chiesa, that should have been that player. Well, there are still big question mark. Will he stay at Juve or not? At the moment, no decision has been taken, but pay attention to Federico Chiesa. Would be a big pity. Locatelli will be a Juve player. And now I can't anymore, so I will stop the video. Ragazzi, thank you for everything. Forza Juve. Ciao. Ciao. Sorry.